Hey guys, welcome to what is going to be the last pod for a little bit. Um, I just need a little bit of a break. So I'm going to Europe, very excited in August. And going for my really good friend's wedding. She'll be getting married at the end of August in Italy in the Amalfi Coast, which I'm so excited about. And where Alex and I are just taking like a 3.5 week holiday, so excited to just completely switch off and just spend some time just like really connecting, thinking, and reflecting. Um, yeah, I just think I've had a lot on my mind this year I feel has felt very fast paced. Like, how are we in July already? It's going to be the end of July very soon when this pod goes out, and we're hitting August. Like, it's just wild. And I don't think it's a bad thing that time's moving fast, but it is a bit overwhelming because I feel like maybe it's like I'm reaching this space in adulthood where I'm like really like I've been talking about this a lot in recent podcasts, but I really feel like I'm really such an adult now where life is just happening. And if I don't take time to reflect, pause in those moments, I feel like life is just going to pass by. And so, yeah, I really feel the need to, I love this podcast, but I really feel the need to take a step back and just take a little bit of a break and refocus my energy. I think that this season doing the podcast, I've felt like different dips of like a lot of clarity and then a little bit of like maybe like loss of focus sometimes. And for me, I feel like that comes out in my podcast, which is not a bad thing because I think this is an authentic space where I am who I am. But I want to make sure that I'm like being able to give you guys good content and interesting content. And to a degree, I feel like if I continue as I am in my current like state of mind, maybe I won't be giving you guys the best quality. So that's why I feel like I need a break. I also was having a discussion with a friend the other night, and she was talking about how she journals, and then she was saying, "But for you, like podcasting is like your journaling, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't really even think about it like that." But yeah, podcasting is like my journaling, where I come here and I speak about my thoughts and what's on my mind, um, and then yeah, I guess I just move on with it. So I just want to say thanks for listening and listening to my journaling. Whether or not that always makes sense is up to you guys. But you guys sometimes seem to find it relatable, which is nice. So let's start with a life update. I think if you can hear it, if you've listened to my podcast enough, you can hear that the gal's got a lisp now. A lisp. Um, so yeah, I got an Invisalign. And as you can see, if you're watching the video, my teeth are actually very straight. Always been straight. It was like blessed with like very straight teeth. Don't know how. I think with my mum, she actually has pretty straight teeth, but never needed braces. So it was really blessed. But I think over time my teeth just got a bit crowded. Like just normally your teeth move and they've been pushing, and so now they're like straight, but they're misaligned. So like my two front teeth at the front have come forward a bit more. So yes, this is a very like first world problem. It's a nice to have. Is an Invisalign is a nice to have, but I decided have the insurance, so I'm gonna just do it while I can. So when I come back on here, guys, you're gonna see me with straight teeth, and I'm being so diligent about wearing these because I'm trying to get them off before the wedding and preferably before the end of the year. Wish me luck. Um, Second update is I am now wearing bunion splints. Oh, see, the splints is just emphasizing the lisp. But anyway, I'm now wearing bunion splints. Lord help me. Uh, I really feel like that happened in 1 week, actually, Invisalign and the bunion splints. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, just no. I just look, seeing me go to sleep, I'm just like, oh, Alex, I'm sorry. I don't find myself very appealing right now. But yeah, the bunion splints are because my feet have always turned outwards, my big toes. And that's just been like a genetic thing since I was super young. And then the podiatrist is saying that my bunions are like severe. And so we're trying to like pull them back straight a bit by wearing splints at nighttime. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, like he said, if I wear them for 3 months, that I'll see results. So hopefully that happens and then I have to wear them less. So yeah, I think both of these updates have indicated to me though something about myself, which is that I'm in this phase of life where I'm like focusing on improving myself and looking after myself. I think I've always been very, not rushed, but like, I don't know, just fast paced. And now I think I'm taking a step back where I'm like actually looking to look after myself and maintain things for the future. And I don't know if that is not adulthood, I don't know what is, but your gal is just becoming way too accountable. So yeah, I think that this though also reflects into my life at the moment and thinking about when I'm thinking about like what I want in the sense of everything. I think like what do I want from work? Like what do I want to pursue from work? Where do I want to live? What do I want to eat, etc. I think right now I'm in this space where I'm feeling ready to slow down a bit and also really ready to focus. I think focus is the key word. I've been feeling very like kind of clear in my focus recently of like being more ready to say no to things. I think is something that I've gained clarity on, and being able to say like, hey, you know what, that's not serving me, let's stop that. And that's like growth for me, because I think I've always been a person that's had their finger in a lot of pies, always so curious about everything, which is something that will always be within me. But whether or not I need to take action on all of those things is something that I'm learning, and when to like let go when something isn't like serving me or working for me. So yeah, right now I feel like I really want to slow down a bit, and that's why I want to stop the pod, just to give myself extra time to really think and focus on my life and what's happening. I think right now, my the focus that I have is being more action oriented and generating more income for myself. So I want to focus on, like, as you've heard in the last pod, I was talking about like different streams of income, and it's something that I've thought about for a really long time. And I think in my mind I've always like thought about it, but not been action oriented enough. And I feel like right now I'm in this place where I really want to focus on actually trying some of these things, like some of these ideas I have, just trying it, focusing on growing my wealth and being more diverse in my income. And I think that's probably just like with me being 29, going on 30, I just want to be more like financially diverse. I'm in a good place financially now, but I think now it was about diversifying in my investments and my like streams of income. And I think I'm just thinking a lot more like long term and more for the future, I guess. So yeah, I've always had a vision of being self-employed, so I think this is a good opportunity for me to really be more proactive in this space and really think about how I'm going to get to that end goal, as opposed to just manifesting it. Yeah, so speaking about different streams of income, these are some areas that I'm like, and ideas that I'm currently interested in. So one, and I want to speak to you guys about this because I want you guys to know like what I'm doing whilst I'm off this podcast and like looking at other things. So one space is my current role. So I love being a product manager. I get a lot of satisfaction from the structure of the role. I think also I'm really blessed to have a really amazing boss and a really great relationship with him. Plus also work at a company with like really great culture, where I do have a lot of independence and like everyone is within choice, you know, like everyone has choices to make, and everyone is within choice of their own, like whatever they want to do. Everyone is in choice is what I'm trying to say, which I really appreciate. And I think that maybe that makes my role even better. But as a product manager, I do really like the nature of the role. It's really like always something new and challenging. But I have been in a role for like 2.5 years now. So I think I want to be able to start exploring how I can become more robust as a product manager and generally in my career. And so I'm thinking about doing something around maybe UX UI design, just because I am like reasonably creative, and I think that UX UI design like kind of gears towards my general strengths. I think right now it's big, I think underlined. But yeah, so this is a space I just want to like explore more and understand, like, is this something that would be valuable to me and something I'm interested in. And so yeah, I'm just trying to explore that space and be more decisive. In terms of, um, sorry, yeah, the next thing is starting my own like apparel line focused on fitness. This is an idea I had like before I started my current role in my job and when I was transitioning between jobs. And it's something I've actually been working on in the background. So I just need to really think a bit more about like how I want to do this and execution of it. But that's something that I'm interested in as well. Writing a book. I know this might sound peculiar to everybody and a bit like a bit of a reach, but I've actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be an author. That's what I told my parents. I think that was like my first dream job when I was maybe in primary school. And I think I watched, what's that show? Something Tuscany, something under the Tuscan sun. There's like a movie, and I was like, she was an author in Tuscany, and she like fell in love, whatever. And I was like, I want to be an author, and I want to be an author in Tuscany. Anyway, this like dream carried on for a little bit. So, but it's actually like strangely enough stuck with me like throughout my life, where I've always thought that I want to write a book one day, and I think it'll be a really good novel, kind of a little bit inspired by my life, but I do really want to write a book one day. And so this is something that I think like I don't think I'll do like whilst I have my time off, but it's something that I will continue to like build towards, keep making notes on, and maybe make it more of a conscious decision that that's something that I want to do long term, and start like building a repository of things and notes or like voice notes or whatever of ideas, and just being a bit more proactive in that space because I think yeah, it's definitely something I want to do. But part of me wonders, I'm like, oh, could I have subconsciously manifested this from a very young age and just like it's always been there? And I think, yeah, I think so. I think it makes sense. Another thing is traveling and vlogging. So I actually used to vlog a lot when I lived in Myanmar, and I really enjoyed that because I was seeing so many new things, and I really had a lot of fun with it. Something that I'm like toying with when I'm going on this trip coming up, I'm going to vlog, mostly for like ourselves, but also just for fun and just try it out again and see if like I get that like inspiration and creative juice back because I really like do love making YouTube videos. I just think this time I need to go a different way about it because before I was like doing everything myself, but maybe this time it's like maybe I do think about getting an editor or something like that. Anyway, we're going to re-explore that space because it is something that I find really fun and I'm feeling more inspired to get back into it. Modeling and learning more, modeling and leaning more into the content creator space, I think is an idea. I'm considering like, yeah, joining an agency and moving a bit more into exposing myself in that space and kind of, I think something I've wanted to do for ages is I've always been like, oh, maybe I'll hire someone to like manage me or like find an agency. I've always spoken about it and now I have the opportunity. I actually think I really want to take it on and try something different, you know, like if I keep going on with things the same way, I feel like I'm going to reach the ceiling of like my own personal capacity very fast because I'm already feeling that. So I think there's a time in my life where I'm starting to think that I also need to start delegating things and bringing people in to help me where I just don't have the time or the expertise. So yeah. So as you guys can tell, I have so many ideas. I feel like I'm going on this like podcast sabbatical to go and spend more time on myself. Not that this is like draining a lot of my time, but it is another space that I put energy towards. You know, I put a lot of energy into making these podcasts and posting about it. So I do think that taking time back is a really valuable thing for me in this case, and it'll better me generally as a podcaster when I come back. So yeah, I think right now, when you look at all those ideas that I have around things that I want to do around maybe generating income, I feel like you could understand why I have a slight decision paralysis at the moment. I feel like I have so many choices and ideas that I have so many different directions that I could go and I'm not sure where to go. And that's why I think like I need to be more focused and start just like actioning them and seeing like what hits. But yeah, I think like decision paralysis is something I've always had because I'm so interested in so many things. And so I think it is a good opportunity for me to really step back and think about how to like manage this long term for myself. So this is one strategy I'm executing, which is taking a step back from things. Yeah, I think this decision paralysis as well is like not just in the optionality of, oh, what could you do for like income and career, but it also filters into my life. And I can feel like it filtering more into my life and becoming a little bit negative in terms of my indecisiveness, because I'm actually a pretty decisive person, but I've been feeling like indecisive about, oh, like what should I eat, where should we go eat, what should we do here, and I've been defaulting a lot to like I don't mind, and I absolutely despise it when I ask people something and they're like, oh, I don't mind, because I'm like, well, I'm asking you for a reason, I want your opinion, so you obviously have a preference. Give me your preference. Because I find I don't mind really unhelpful, but I've been defaulting to I don't mind recently, and I'm really not liking it about myself. So I really need to take a step back to be more decisive and like push myself to that place of being more decisive and just not giving myself the option to say I don't mind. But I think it is a result of me feeling a level of like decision and choice paralysis in other areas of my life. So that's just a bit of self-reflection. I think the last area of my life that I kind of just trying to sort out and think about longer term is where I want to be geographically long term. Is that, do I want to go home to Australia? And if I do, like, when do I want to do that? When is the right time? I think we've always been, like, I've always decided where to be geographically in the last 7 years based on Alex's role. Because he seems to keep getting jobs everywhere in the world, which is fine, which is exciting. We love that. But I think now I'm in a stage where I actually get to decide where like I want to be and where we want to be. And my default right now is I don't know, I don't mind, right? But like that's not, I think for me, that's not okay. It's actually, I do want to actually have an answer. And so I need to spend the time thinking about what that answer is, so that I can really feel that I'm doing myself a service and not just being in the passenger seat in my journey, if that makes sense. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. And as I said at the start, this is kind of like journaling where I put all like my thoughts out here. But I think to summarize my thoughts, I would just call it like I'm really in a transition phase. And I wouldn't say it's so like, I mean, it's relatively floaty, but not in a negative way. It's like I'm floating, but I'm really thinking. And I'm behind this floatiness is like a very sense of intention to get clear on like what it is that I want to focus on and who I want to be and where I want to be. And so I just think that this transition phase in my life right now, it just needs time, and it just needs a bit of space for me to like gain clarity, take action, observe how it works out for myself, and then make decisions from there. So the answer to that, like the conclusion I want to make is that yes, I'm taking a break from podcasting for a bit. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be back, but I want to be back and be like really ready to give myself more, like give more of myself to you guys. So it's a brief break, but she will be back. She's just going to go enjoy Europe and probably take like 2 months off podcasting. Anyway, I am excited. I'm really excited for like all of the unknowns and question marks in my life, but I'm also just really excited to spend some time putting my mind in a different place, and breaking like my current mental state and habits, because I think that's super important in life, is to, if something's not working out or you're feeling like a bit funky or something of that sort, it's good to like take a step back and make changes, or else I don't know how else things will either change or improve for yourself from what they currently are. Sorry for those watching the video, that was just really unfocused just then. Apologies. But anyway, thank you for listening and being so receptive and here for me. I really appreciate it. And I will speak to you guys soon. I will keep in contact with you all on Peanut Butter Neya Time and post some photos of my holidays there. But I hope you guys all have a great summer/winter. Bye.